We're at Devoxx Belgium 2019, and I'm joined by Dimitris and Emmanuel. Welcome.
Hello.
So, look, every year in the tech conference scene, something comes along that gets everybody talking, a new product or a methodology, etc. This year seems to be all about Quarkus since the middle of the year. Everybody's talking about it. So for the uninitiated that might be watching this, give us a bit about the backstory. What is Quarkus?
Yeah, so why did we do it in the first place? Is we see people moving to microservices, and generally speaking, what I call cloud native, in the sense that it's orchestrated platform handling the deployment of your app. And as part of the microservices, you're really splitting your app into 20 or 50x the size of this one monolith you used to have. And the density problem, memory-wise, was a bit of a problem. And we've seen people really challenging Java in this new universe of containers and deployment into microservices. And that's why we made Quarkus. And Quarkus really go and bridge the gap, really catch up with things like Go or Node.js into the density aspect.
So look, there are other frameworks out there. What kind of makes Quarkus special?
Quarkus has this special thing where it can reduce very much the amount of classes that go into your application, because it has intimate knowledge of the various frameworks that you are using. So as a result, the end application becomes smaller and takes like half of the memory, can start 5 times faster when in hotspot mode, and then you can take it a step further and compile into native using Graal, and then it becomes insanely fast, like 50 times faster to boot, 5 times less memory. So in the same space, you can fit twice as many or 5 times as many.
Yeah, what we look at is requests per second per megabyte. That's really the metrics we like. And just to add up on that, how do I say that? What we did was really, try to limit the number of classes loaded, because people say, hey, I consume XMX20, and then that's 20 megs of RAM used. It's not. There is the whole non-heap size that is part of the JVM. And what we do is we do a lot of work at build time, and therefore a lot of work doesn't have to be done. Lots of classes doing that work are not loaded. That's how we make the magic happen.
So one thing I've noticed is Quarkus talks about kind of developer joy.
Yeah.
How do you define that?
So first of all, it's really a mentality from the start. So it's not one feature, it's really a combination of, actually back to my many microservices. You've got 20 microservices, but the team hasn't exploded 20x, right? So it's the same 20 folks doing 20 microservices. So they only have 1/20th of the time to spend on each of those. So they really have to get to the point, focus, and go and solve their problems right away. So developer joy is really helping the developer and moving everything out of their way. Is it too slow for the test? Is it too slow to write something, get the feedback? And the flagship feature for that is what we call live coding, which is literally you start Quarkus in a dev mode, you edit your code, you go back to your browser, you refresh, and you see the new change. No deployment, no recompilation. Actually, we do all of that so fast. It feels like PHP style or Node.js style feedback loop, but in Java, which is like really surprising for Java folks.
Yeah. So there's a really large number of microservices out there using Spring APIs. How are how do you appeal to that crowd with Quarkus?
Yeah. Well, one way, of course, is to rewrite apps to the Quarkus APIs. We use a microprofile. We support a large set of standards or de facto standards.
Yeah.
But we also offer in a Spring API compatibility layer. At this moment, we offer some popular ones like Spring DI, Spring Web, Spring Data. So if you feel Spring
Data JPA, yes.
So if you feel familiar with this programming model, you just go straight away, and we will emulate it, and it will be super small and fast.
But the jump is not as big as what people think, because we're actually exposing Hibernate APIs and REST-easy API, JAX-RS, microprofile. So all of those are actually known to people, one way or another. And even if it's not, it's almost like a one-to-one to a lot of the feature sets. So the move, we've seen two people, people liking the compatibility layer we have, or just saying, I'm just going to spend a week, adjusting my changes and then move on. And people are just liking it.
Yeah. So Quarkus is both new and old. So a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff we use is like
We kept the
very
good old.
mature. You know, what's different is the way we package things together.
Yeah.
And, you know, produce your.
Yeah, we didn't want people to have to relearn an entirely new way of doing things.
Yeah, yeah. So you've got a session this afternoon, I know.
Yeah.
There's nobody listening right now.
Maybe behind, I don't know.
You're going to make an announcement.
Yes.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Through the grapevine. So come on, tell us what it is.
All right, so we're announcing 1.0.
Okay.
So right now it's 1.0 RC1, and really within a couple of weeks we're going to have the 1.0. And it's really a big thing for us. We started not so long ago. It was in March when we made the project public. We had 42 releases out there.
It's amazing.
With 42, you cannot miss that one. And also, I think we had a release every 9 days, like super fast, new features every single time. We've got 177 contributors, and we really wanted to show the world that this is ready, people are using it in production already, go, you're ready to embrace it and move forward with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm going to announce, but shh.
Don't tell anyone.
Yes.
And so, from around the scene over the last 6 months, I've known so many people that have been super impressed and been really excited to get their hands on and play around and work with Quarkus. How do you want, let's say, the Java community to kind of get involved and help you in terms of the next steps in evolution?
Yeah, go to quarkus.io.
Yep.
Code quarkus.io, to start writing apps, migrating your applications, and if you feel a bit confident, you can also try contribute an extension to the Quarkus universe, because that will make Quarkus, more universally useful for everyone, and
And it's been great so far. It's the best, feedback from the community I've had, and I've been there a long time, including Hibernate. But this one is just amazing, so people keep coming. We try to be super responsive, super friendly. It's really that's part of the developer joy, really, in practice. Yeah. So Quarkus.io, and come and try it, and then have conversations with us.
Great stuff. Good luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for talking to us.
Thanks, Mark.